Hello and welcome to this edition of Full Circle. It's brought to you by South Central Louisiana Human Services Authority. And of course, they bring you lots of different services and resources. I'm your host, Keith Whiteside. Thank you so much for joining us. However you may be joining us, we appreciate it. As we welcome in Miss Nikki Stevens. Nikki, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. And Nikki is a registered dietitian with South Central. And it's this time of year that we really kind of want to let people know that there's some healthier things that they can be doing. Let's talk about some of these tips.
Yeah, so I've come up with 5 tips to kind of healthy eating during the holidays. So we can start with our first tip.
Okay.
Our first tip, you want to avoid skipping meals.
Okay.
So during this time of year, a lot of folks like to save their appetite for the big holiday meals. We've done this with Thanksgiving. We're probably going to do this with Christmas. But you want to make sure you try to include breakfast or a small meal just to kind of get your day going. The reason for that is when we have long periods of time not eating, it kind of sets us up to overeat at later meals. So you want to make sure you have something, and it doesn't have to be a big meal. It can be like maybe a slice of toast with scrambled eggs,
Right.
yogurt with fruit, just something to kind of get your appetite going, but not too great going into the day.
Okay, something nice and easy, but don't skip your meals.
Yes, don't skip them.
It's much easier on your body if we don't.
Yes.
Very good. All right, what's that second one?
All right, so the second one, you want to still try to practice portion control at your meals. There's different ways on how to do that. One is just kind of, if you're having trouble with that, just try to include more fruits and vegetables with your meal. My plate always goes back to making half your plate fruits and vegetables, so that's a good way for that. And the reason for it is fruits and vegetables have lots of fiber. Fiber helps us feel full after a meal, so it kind of makes it a little bit easier on you to portion your meals as you go down the line. Some people use smaller plates, smaller bowls, those kind of things. That's very helpful tips as well. You want to Another little tip too, and not really portioning, but kind of being mindful of what you're doing while you're, conversating, socializing with family and things like that, gatherings. Kind of move yourself away from food tables,
Right.
because while we're talking, we tend to kind of just mindlessly eat, nibble, not really being aware of how much we're eating. So if you want to grab a few things, kind of move away from the food tables and still socialize with family and friends, that's another way to kind of help with portion control.
So one of the things that we do very often is we're always making sure that we're getting smaller serving bowls, smaller serving plates, and it just helps go right into that. And tip one, if we don't skip a meal, then we're not so starving for that next
Yes,
meal that
yes.
we don't overeat. It allows us to do that portion control. So those two tips work
Absolutely.
together, right?
Yes, they
I know you
do.
thought about that already,
yes.
Nick. I appreciate that. So let's go on and move on to tip number 3.
All right, so tip number 3, I did kind of touch on this
Right.
one too. You want to include your favorite fruits and vegetables with your meals. Always kind of start with what is your go-to fruits and vegetables. If you're not a big vegetable person, try to pick 1 or 2 that you feel comfortable including with. If you're not really sure if they have something offered, like fruits and vegetables at a gathering you're invited, maybe offer to bring something, or maybe eat a little light fruit vegetable meal before you go. A lot of my patients will do like a little salad before they go somewhere because, again, the fiber component kind of helps make them feel a little bit full so they don't overdo it once they get to the party or the gathering with family. Be willing to try something new.
Okay.
I always tell patients don't, kind of start with what you prefer to eat with fruits and vegetables, but be willing to try something different. I have a few patients who've had certain vegetables when they're younger, but didn't really care for it. And I said, well, try it prepared in a different way, like roast Brussels sprouts or do some steamed asparagus, kind of do it in a different way with different flavors, and just be more open-minded to trying these new fruits and vegetables.
I love it. My mother and father-in-law, one really likes salad, the other one doesn't really like salad, but he likes lots of fruits. So when we have a gathering, we always have a salad. We want to satisfy what she wants or needs, but we also have a fruit tray.
Okay.
So, and the fruit tray always goes first.
good.
So it's wonderful. The Merinos are fantastic for eating fruits, and I'm proud of them. But I love the idea that we can eat a salad before we go to a gathering.
Yes.
I love that idea. I think my wife and I are going to entertain that before we go to any of our parties this year. We're going to have a salad first. What a great recommendation.
Yes, it's a really helpful tip.
Yeah, so we're going to employ that. I like that. Very good. What's another tip that we can use?
All right, so number 4, drink water. This, I think we don't really give the credit to drinking water, just how much it can do for us. It's easy to do during the hotter months, summertime, because we get dehydrated pretty quickly, but we can still get dehydrated during these months as well. It's just not as noticeable. So you want to make sure drinking water during the day, kind of keep a water bottle or a refillable bottle kind of close by, just kind of taking steps throughout the day. If drinking plain water is just not appealing to you, you can definitely add some sugar-free sweeteners to it. Some folks add fruit to it, so you have your fiber in there. Fruit-infused water, I know it was a big thing back then, but just any way to kind of keep water intake going. With it being colder, I see a lot of my patients' water intake does drop because typically when we drink water, it is cold. So room temperature water, if you want to keep a few water bottles on the kitchen counter, grab them, put them on your desk at work, just to kind of keep you drinking more water throughout the day.
Hydration, very, very important. Let's talk about that last tip, Nikki.
Okay, so the most important tip, enjoy your holiday.
Oh my.
Don't stress about watching out portions and things like that if it is overwhelming. If all these are just too much to kind of handle at once, maybe pick 1 or 2 that is doable for you at the moment. And then January, that's when everyone makes New Year resolutions and they meet their local dietitian to help with those weight loss goals. And, but just kind of enjoy your holiday. Don't stress. And don't restrict yourself with favorite foods. I feel like a lot of folks would do that. This is the time of year we're around foods that normally we wouldn't eat throughout the year. So enjoy it. Don't treat yourself kind of thing. So,
I like it. Wonderful tips. Nikki, thank you so very much. We're going to be much healthier through the holidays and as we start the new year. So thanks for coming to share that with us.
Thank you so much.
All right. And that will do it for this particular segment of Full Circle with South Central. Don't go anywhere. A lot more local programming right here on HTV.